wouldn't it?
That would be so bad. Okay. Recording has now commenced. All right, and bear with me, everyone. This was short notice, so I didn't have a ton of time to prepare. Oh, there's Donovan. Yay! Oh, wait. No, he disappeared. It's okay. We're all good here. Okay. So start the recording. Begin the
I'm still here. I just turned my video off because I'm going to have to go get my son here in just a second. So.
Oh, just fine.
I'll be moving around, but I'm still listening and paying attention. I promise.
Okay. There will be no demerits for points from Gryffindor. So it says, begin the discussion by asking one team member the following questions. After one person gives an answer, ask others what they think. So if we're all okay with that, I think we'll just follow that pattern. So I'll just start with Marilyn, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll just start with question 1. Ask your team to help you understand some background on sexual harassment law before you start the case.
Oh gosh, now I gotta remember the reading I did in the van.
I'm sorry, that's kind of like a big one.
I know, that's okay. I got my paper in front of me. Just let me look. I read this yesterday while we were traveling, so.
Do what you can when you can.
So, from my understanding, the original Title VII did not include anything specific. It just said discrimination against sex, like as in female, male, whatever, you know. But in the 1970s, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission specified that any violation on sexual harassment fell under the Title VII, under the origins of sex, and it just kind of evolved over that of what it specifically, you know, covered versus verbal or actual conduct, and then eventually they created 2 different types of sexual harassment: the quid pro quo and the hostile work environment. Anybody want to add to that?
I think that's an excellent summary.
Mm-hmm.
Or Donovan, anything you want to say?
Yeah, this it's uncomfortable because the people is it's an action that's is continuous.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's
Continues?
yeah, it's continuous in the and this start with little things, and then as a few days it grows because the people feel the looks, and you know, I think I'm scared.
It's very true. It starts with little things and then it grows into bigger things.
Yeah.
Like in the case study we read this week, it seemed like the harassment started with smaller things and then it just got worse.
Yeah, but the ladies or any person need to say stop the first time. Yeah, you it's very important the first time. Hey, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first time is the key. And the other people, you know, look with power and authority and myself. So what do you want? Probably you have problems.
I agree.
Yeah, because I had a few experience about this. So I said in the first time, excuse me? You know, I am a lady. I know what is my value, okay? And if you tell me one more thing, I see you in court.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Stop it right there.
yeah.
Good for you.
So, yeah,
You're like a
no.
little spitfire. I love it.
Yeah, probably 5 times. Yeah,
5 times?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. No. Momento.
Yeah.
The Mexican people, oh, man.
Donovan, you're the only man here.
But the men, they were working in the field. So, like, they are, no, they not think, only impulse and, not for me. And my boss, too, in the field. He said, I have money, you need money. You need to pay your truck. I know you have needs. Yes, I have needs, but I am working. It's my problem, not your problem.
Good for you. On that, I want to ask you, Laura, the next question
Okay,
is sexual harassment.
okay.
So we can get a good definition established.
Yeah, sexual harassment is an intimidation or harassment of a sexual nature or rape, unwanted or inappropriate promise in exchange for sexual favors. Yeah.
That's a good definition.
Yeah.
Very good definition. I'm just sitting, when I read this lesson and just sitting here talking with you all and thinking about past jobs that I had. Some of those guys were just disgusting. The way they talked, and even the women just going along with it. I almost feel like I should have talked to HR at one point, but oh well. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
I feel like I've been in a little bubble because a lot of the things you guys talk about I have never experienced.
Enjoy the bubble because it's weird out here.
Yeah.
It is weird out here.
You're in Utah, aren't you?
Yeah, this was when I was living in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So
It
I was
could
dealing with
happen
a lot of,
anywhere, even in Utah.
and I'm sure it happens in Utah too, but I was in Virginia, so it was not an LDS environment.
Yeah.
So it was just bad. Donovan, I'm going to call on you for the next question. And the next question is number 3. Based on Martina's story, does her situation constitute sexual harassment?
I think her story is the epitome of sexual harassment. I mean, kind of like we discussed previously. It started very small, a comment here, a comment there, and escalated into actual physical actions. And especially in a work environment, in a professional environment like that, that's not something that you can tolerate.
Mm-mm.
Everyone's got a job to do. Everyone's got something that they're supposed to be doing, and it's not fooling around with your coworkers when they don't want to.
No. No.
I don't know. That's my take on it.
No, you're right on, I think. And she was married too, so
Was. Mhm.
I think Laura hit on it right there. She didn't put a stop to it
Yeah.
yeah,
in the very
Yeah.
beginning.
she was scared.
Yeah.
What we have from the story, it doesn't sound
Right.
like she's doing anything to put a stop to it, really.
Yeah. When I was married, yeah, that one guy said, "Oh, Laurita, how are you? Oh, do you want to take a few minutes with like, what? Excuse me, my name is Laura, okay? What do you want? Oh, nothing. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. sorry.
That's okay.
You got to stand up for yourself. I like your spunk.
Yeah. So it's not easy.
It is not easy.
Mm. No, when you see the man is close and they think, oh, I am macho and I am handsome. No, 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 no. I don't care. Yeah.
I've learned too. I went and interviewed for an internship, and this was here in Utah. And my contact, he was really nice, but he's like, I'm going to have you interview with the chief marketing officer of the company, because you'll be working with him. So I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So I sit down with the CMO, and well, before we even sit down, my contact was like, hey, Amanda's here for the interview. When you got some time, they were moving into a new office. There were boxes there, and the CMO was kind of busy. And as soon as he saw me, you know how the eyes, they go down and up, and the eyes were lingering in places that they shouldn't be. And I was like, I am not gonna work here. Like, that is just not acceptable. So he didn't like say anything or do anything, but I could tell this would not have been a good place to work. That CMO was probably like, I wouldn't report it someone for just looking. Based on past experience, I'm like, yeah, that would have been a problem. So I didn't even accept the job because I knew I didn't want to risk putting up with him.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing. It's a very real thing. Marilyn, I'll ask you the next question as I'm rotating through everybody here. Is it quid pro quo or a hostile work environment?
Well, from the information we have, I personally feel like it's more of a hostile work environment. Just because the information doesn't state anywhere where she was doing any favors in place of work. At one time she did say she was afraid of being fired, but I don't know if anything was specifically said to her that if you don't do this, I'll fire you.
Right, which is the quid pro
her
quo.
being afraid that if she did anything, that would be the result.
That sounds pretty good. Everybody else agree?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty accurate. I think we nailed that one. Thank you, Marilyn. The next one will be for Laura.
Okay.
From reading the note on sexual harassment, do you think DeCosta, is that how you pronounce his last name? DeCosta got accurate advice when he called the counsel's office? You might need to follow up by asking who the lawyer said he was.
Is talk to her first, and then because they need support and help. She felt yeah, she felt scared and so I think he did good, but not in the good order. So he need to talk her first, and then they take good solution for both, because now they are in the same problem. Yeah, I think.
I agree. I agree. Anybody else have anything to add to that? Marilyn or Donovan?
Well, I thought that, you know, she gave good advice of why he needed to pursue it, not just not do anything. But I was surprised that she was saying he needed to call somewhere else. That
Mm.
Mm.
Like, can't you help me right here on the phone? Isn't that what you're here for?
yeah, isn't, I mean, I'm calling the equal opportunity office. I mean, you're directing me somewhere else. But
That could be a little less bureaucratic and a little more streamlined.
and I don't know if maybe because it was a Lone Star issue, if that's why she was saying you need to call somebody outside of this place that could be more didn't have any compromising anything going on.
That makes
Anyway.
sense. Anything to add to that, Donovan?
I think the advice from a policy standpoint might have been accurate. I don't know that because I don't know. My feeling on this is that a lot of the situations are need to be personalized. I mean, they need to be tailored to what's actually going on in the workplace, what these people are dealing with. Because sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's not as helpful as you would think to involve the EEO,
Mm-hmm.
and that can go both ways. And I don't know. I think as far as she was able to in an official capacity, I think that's the best advice that she could have given him. So.
What I don't understand is why all of a sudden is she jumping outside of the company? Wouldn't she want to do their own investigation with inside the company before it goes anywhere else? I don't know.
Does that go into the next question here? Question 6. Why might a lawyer representing the company insist on instituting a formal investigatory process? Like,
Didn't it say somewhere in the law thing of when they should involve somebody outside, that you can involve somebody outside the company, but if you do, somewhere there it said that.
taking notes here.
Sorry, I'm looking through. I stopped underlining in the van because it was just going all over the place. I couldn't see a straight line.
Personally, and maybe this is a narrow viewpoint, but I almost feel like the EEO office, whether it's within a company or the federal, they're supposed to be there to help. And if they're not helping very much, something's not working right.
Okay, so it says pursuing harassment claims. You have an internal procedures and federal system and the state system. So just a second.
So from what I can see, they said to go to the EEO office for the company.
For Lone Star.
For Lone Star. So it's not.
Wasn't Lone Star taken over from another company? So aren't they saying the one that took over them to contact them?
Well, they did a merger from what I
Yeah, okay.
read. Yeah, so it's the same company now.
So maybe they're still keeping it internal and it's
Yeah,
not federal.
let's see.
It says federal laws does not require companies to maintain to do that. So anyways,
Yeah, yeah. So I think what the lawyer was saying was to keep it internal. It wasn't a an external
At this
office.
point, not an external thing.
Not yet. Not yet. Anyway, that might not actually be a bad thing though, because sometimes involving someone who's non-partial.
I was looking for that word earlier.
That's the one. That's the one.
There you go. I couldn't get it out either.
Objective.
That is
That,
such a good legal
that can help.
term there, Donovan. Non-partial. Because
It's bad when my Spanish is better than my English because my Spanish isn't that good. I just, oh yeah.
well, you get the sense as you're reading the case study. I mean, Laura's obviously overwhelmed with what's going on. She's afraid of what her husband's going to do.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you what that is, at least not right away. My immediate thought was, oh man, he's going to go beat up the boss from French.
I think that was implied, actually. She said he's got a pretty aggressive temper.
I mean, as a husband, Donovan, what would you do?
Oh. So, story time.
Okay, we're
For a moment. My wife had a coworker that was, oh man, this kid was a piece of work. And, the only reason that he is still in one piece is because she told me to leave him alone. I try to be a pretty mellow person. I try to be, non-violent, not doing anything like that. But, to do that to another person, especially someone that, is important to me personally, that's one of the few things that gets me pretty fired up. So I wouldn't blame him for, I'm not saying that this is right by any means, but I'm saying I get it. I get why he would want to do what he would do.
Yeah, the one thing my kids have learned, you don't say anything bad to mama or daddy is gonna get mad.
Yeah.
So I get the whole worry about what your husband's going to do in that situation.
Yeah.
same. I mean, in theory, but I would hope if I had a husband and something bad happened to me, his initial reaction would be, I want to kill the guy. Whether or not he actually did anything, like hopefully not, but be the man, be protective of your family here. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I had a baseball bat with his name on it.
No, seriously. And that's why you're here in our group, Donovan. You're here to give us the male perspective.
Yeah.
And this is I don't know, this is a really sensitive subject. So it's kind of like easy to talk about in ways, in other ways it's hard. Because it does get really personal.
I think that her husband probably is like a macho and probably he's manipulate her or control her, that because she feel she's scared for his reaction, and but she chose that she doesn't have confidence or with her husband. So because when we have any situation, we need to talk to husband and said, or boyfriend. Yeah, when this happen, we need to talk to for help. I remember one time I asked help for my stepfather. I said, oh, one guy follow me every day, and he told me a few things not good, and I need you talk to him. And the next day, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah,
handled it well.
yeah,
You handled it very well.
yeah.
I know we need good men in our lives. I am a huge believer in we need good men in our lives. We really do. We really do. If you're all in agreement, should we move on to part 2?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Okay, question 1. Okay, I forget who I was on.
I think I did the last one, didn't I?
Okay, and then Donovan was next, and then Laura. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not like calling on any one person too many times.
Good.
So this will be for Donovan. It says, how would you evaluate Jack DeCosta's options at this point? What do you think he should do? You might want to do a quick vote, find out how many students think he should go ahead and report, then ask why, so on and so forth.
I've been looking at this question for the last 20 minutes, trying to figure out what I would say in response.
That's what you're on
And
the
you
screen.
got asked it.
So I've been reading through the case study and whatnot, and I don't know. This is a really tricky situation, just because, there can be things that you don't know about the situation before getting involved in it.
Right.
I think the best thing that he could do, and the thing that he did do, was to go and talk to Julia and see if he could if she was willing to give some more details, what kind of actions that she wanted to do with the situation, and if I was him, it would be at that point where I would be like, okay, this is what I've been told, this is, and then based off of her responses, I'll help you and support you in whatever you need, because I don't know what their work relationship was like, but if she was someone who worked for him or just in the same office and doing something different, how that all went down. But if I overheard something like this, or if I had a coworker that came to me and said, hey, this is going on, and I'd like, okay, let's get it sorted then, because that's not something good. I don't know. If it was me, I don't know that I would report it to the EEO office right off the bat.
You would talk to Julia first.
I'd want to talk to them first and kind of get a feel for where their feelings were at, and that's probably how I would do that. Reporting it is good, but I definitely wouldn't do nothing. That's, ignoring the situation.
Should I just not do anything?
Yeah, no, that's always a bad option. Evil only wins when good people do nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
And didn't the lawyer say on the phone that if he did say nothing and then this did escalate, then the company could get in trouble because he didn't report that he had heard something was going on.
Yeah, so it would be like if he was called up as a character witness. Um, then basically he's presented with two options: either to perjure himself, he'd lie to the court about this person, or he'd say, "Yeah, I knew about it, but I didn't do anything," and then that's a whole nother can of worms that
causes more mess, more problem.
Yeah, more issues. So
I like that because they kind of give us, okay, for students who say report, ask these questions, or for people who say do nothing, ask this, or if you should report to the EEO. I like what you said, Donovan. You kind of like cut through all that and you're like, okay, we need to just talk to Julia to find out what's going on here.
yeah.
Before we even get to any kind of reporting or trying to figure out, there's too many like assumptions that can be made.
Yeah.
Needed to talk to her.
And one of mine was he could launch his own little investigation, but it's like, how much does he really want to get involved in that too?
Especially with that headache that was coming on.
Yeah. My one thought going through all this is if he sat there and did nothing, she says she's trying to get transferred, and he's, with everything that was going on with the company and downsizing, was that even going to be possible? But I mean, what happens if she does get transferred and somebody else comes in? Is the same thing going to happen to them if they sit and they do nothing? Is it just
That's bad
got
precedent.
away with it once? What's to say he's not going to get away with it a second time or anything like that? So it's not that, it's definitely not something that can be ignored.
Mhm.
From a legal standpoint, and also for the safety of not just one woman but other women in the office. Could there be somebody else that's going through the same thing she's going through? Is she the only one? So
I mean, rarely is it just a first time occurrence. Like there's usually some kind of history.
Yeah.
Multiple people.
And one option could be talking to HR and saying we need to have a sexual harassment training. He obviously didn't know what policies were.
Right.
So if he doesn't know, then is there any training going on? What are the policies and procedures? People need to know this.
But this is off topic, but one of the companies that I worked for when my dad passed away, all the emotions and everything I was going through, I wasn't thinking straight. But my direct boss, my supervisor, bless his heart, within a day or two, he had the company policy on taking time for bereavement on my email. Like he sent it to me in email. He was on top of that, and he knew what the company policies were.
Yeah.
Or even if he didn't have it on hand, he knew how to get it.
Yeah.
Because I was, emotionally out of it. I couldn't go. I didn't feel like I was even sane enough to be like, okay, what's my bereavement? What do I get? I need to go to my dad's funeral. Like I couldn't even process that mentally. But
it's good that you have somebody watching out for you that could do that.
Yeah. So it wasn't a sexual harassment issue, obviously, but it was good to see that there are good people that will get that HR policy and they'll get it to you quickly when you're emotionally compromised, I guess.
Definitely.
Laura, anything to add?
No.
Awesome. We pretty much beat this one up. So I think we can just kind of run past those because those are kind of irrelevant. Because I like what Donovan came up with. We're going to go to Julia first.
Yeah.
And then we can decide from there, make a decision together how best to move forward. That was a brilliant answer. Brilliant. So moving on to part 3. And I'm trying to keep track of our time here. We are getting close. So for part 3, let's see, now your team will consider what to include in a company's sexual harassment policy. Assign each of your team members a role. I'm not sure how you guys want to do this. Do you want to like go do a little bit of research on these different things and then we can talk about what we come up with?
So, understanding this, we're going to do research of how a policy would apply to us if we were like the potential victim, or how a policy would apply to us if we were the accused harasser. Is that kind of what it's saying?
I think so. I think so. Does anyone else have any?
His smile. Is he's smiling, right? Not crying. Okay.
That big grin was so cute.
No, he's not smiling. I think he's crying.
Oh, he's crying. Oh no. I'm
Sorry. For a second there, it looked like he was smiling.
We thought he was laughing. Oh, poor baby.
Been there. Feel for you. I don't know. I'm open to doing that.
Oh, that's a cry. Okay. It's kind of like there needs to be 5 members of the team, and we're kind of short on participants, so I don't want to be like a stickler. I'm like, we're going to do it just the way they told us to do it. Like, I
I
say.
was kind of researching this before we got started, but I didn't get very far. I've never paid attention to a sexual harassment policy or procedure. I just, I know I've read through our procedure books at work and stuff like that because we're required to, but I don't know how much I've paid attention to it.
The final piece of it here says, now take 10 minutes, which we don't have. So I want to get to the wrap up. This is really cool, where they say what actually did happen to Julia and everybody here. So this is cool. They're actually going to show us some results. Well, some of it's cool, some of it's not, but it's interesting to see how it all pans out. But take 10 minutes to try and agree on actual policy that could be used by a BYU Idaho student group, such as yours, with respect to sexual harassment policies and procedures. Don't we have, like, in the syllabus for every class we take, there's a section on the sexual harassment?
Huh. Yeah, I didn't even think about
I kind of like skim over that. I've completely ignored it like the last couple semesters.
There is. I wonder where.
I think it's in the syllabus.
If it's not in the syllabus, it's a link to the BYU Idaho.
Okay, it's not in the syllabus. It's somewhere in one of those documents they always make us read, like the first class.
Yeah.
He's doing the Superman.
One of the only things that will make him quiet down. And it's a bad day when it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, that was for sure. Daddies have a talent for finding those crazy things to do that gets the kid to be quiet. It's so funny. Like, leave it to the dads to find those crazy ways to hold the kid. Any luck finding that policy?
I'm looking.
Well, I'm going to try finding it too. So I almost feel like that if we review that, that should be a good policy right there.
University policies. Sexual harassment. It says sexual harassment refers to unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature. Sexual harassment may include 1, unwelcome sexual advances, 2, requests for sexual favors, 3, other verbal, nonverbal, or physical conduct of a sexual nature. Sexual harassment may also include denying or limiting on the basis of sex, the student's ability to participate in or receive benefits, services, or opportunities in university programs. BYU Idaho's policy against sexual harassment extends not only to employment situations, but to academic situations as well. And then it just says, if you feel you have encountered sexual harassment or gender-based discrimination, or if you need assistance or information related to allegations of sexual harassment, please contact the Title IX coordinator. And it gives the phone number, email address, and there's more information on another website. And there's like a whole website addressing sexual misconduct at BYU Idaho.
That sounds pretty good. Anyone feel like you would add something to it?
No.
You're shaking your head, Laura. You think it's pretty good? Pretty thorough?
Yeah.
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 And on this website, it has links to information for victims, sexual misconduct policy, campus resources, community resources, and then contact information.
Okay.
So
You should pay more attention to that.
Yeah.
I have had zero problems with that, I will say. The school is awesome and everyone has been treated, at least in my experience, there's been a lot of good things going on, so I've never had to use it.
Oh, it kind of helps where we're kind of doing online and you don't really have a whole lot of contact outside of groups and stuff like that.
I almost got a date once through a discussion board.
Really?
That's the closest I got.
Online dating, come on.
You meet on campus, why not meet online in school?
No, why not?
It never worked out because he was up in Idaho and I was in Utah, and he was like, oh yeah, we'll meet up next time I'm in Utah. It never happened. But
Yeah.
good, discussions going on that discussion board, and he was single, obviously, and I was single, so I was like, hey, this is cool. But that's the closest. And that was hardly a negative. That was more.
I don't know how bad I just want to come and hold him, Donovan.
I know. I keep
He
looking.
wants mama. That's what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mom's at work.
Yeah.
I keep, as I'm talking and reading, I keep looking down at Donovan's screen here in the corner, and I see the little guy's face, and I'm just like, oh no, he's still crying. Poor little man. Oh.
That makes everything so much better.
What was that, Donovan?
He's teething as well.
Oh, that's right, he's teething. That just exacerbates the whole situation. Oh. Hats off to the parents of the world. You guys are like amazing, everything you do for the kids. I hope I'm as good a parent.
You will be.
I hope so. I hope so. Should we go ahead and do part 4 for the wrap up of the case study?
Yeah.
We get to see the dramatic ending for the whole. I'll go ahead and read it unless someone is dying for an opportunity to read 3 paragraphs.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. When Jack called corporate counsel, he forgot about caller ID. The lawyer used the information he gave her to figure out the people he was talking about. She contacted the Lone Star EEO, which launched a formal investigation. The EEO tried hard to get Martinez to cooperate. French denied all charges, claiming that Martinez had made up her story to protect herself from pending layoffs. DeCosta was asked for evidence, but he didn't have any. Julia Martinez's husband found out what was going on beat up Julia and forced her to quit. That I was not expecting when I read through this earlier.
Oh, Laura called it. That's amazing. I didn't expect it either. Wow.
I thought he was going to go beat up her boss. I had no idea he would beat her up. So no wonder she was so scared and wasn't going to do anything. So like you said, Laura, he seems like your instincts were right on. He seems like a really macho, crazy kind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
You were dead right on for that one. Then the story continues. French survived the investigation with only a bruised reputation. He blamed everything on DaCosta for calling corporate counsel. There was so much animosity between DaCosta and French that DaCosta left the company after 3 months. And it goes on to say, ask your group, what was Lone Star's sexual harassment policy? If Lone Star had one, did Jack know anything about it? What policies, procedures, or training might have improved the situation Jack found himself in? I think we've kind of already gone over this a little bit, but
Yeah.
that there should have been a little more understanding. There should be some more training from HR. Would the policy you created as a group have been helpful to Jack? I think the BYU Idaho was pretty thorough. You could probably use something similar to it.
Mhm.
Any
Yeah.
organization. Could clear policies and procedures have helped to avoid consequences of this case? I'll put in my 2 cents worth. I think it could have helped if there were clear policies and procedures already in place.
Yeah, if they had already been in place, definitely. It just is frustrating that French got off scot-free.
I know.
A lot of that has to do with the fact that Julia wasn't willing to do anything, but she was scared. She's sandwiched between two situations. So
There's 2 abusive men in her lives, her boss and her husband.
yeah. But if there had been any policies in place and stuff, Julia may have known what to do in the very beginning instead of it being drawn out.
Kind of like in the Doohickeys case study that we're going over. Wasn't in there towards the end, a girl came up to us, whoever was, the reader, the new employee, and was asking, like, what is the HR policy? I don't like what's going on here. There needs to be things in place, I think, and people need to know where it is or how to access it.
Yeah. I know in the office I worked in, we were required to read the office manual with all the policies. And I really didn't pay attention as much as I should have, but I mean.
No one does. It's not just you.
But you have to sign the paper that you've read it. So even if I hadn't paid attention and anything had happened, I still would have been held liable because I had read it and I'd signed the paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody knew where it was at.
Mm-hmm.
So, because
whether or not you remembered.
Well, when you work in a medical environment, there's so much OSHA with compliance things. If somebody ever came in and did an investigation or anything into the office, one of the first things they would ask you is, do you know where your office procedure manual is located? So it was trained. You were trained. It is in this spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So much regulation.
Yeah.
And it's there for a reason, so it's good. But yeah, you need to do better at paying attention to it. So I'll just go through and ask each team member what they thought the most important thing they learned from this case study was. I'll start with Laura.
Yeah.
What do you think was the most important thing you learned from this case study?
So I learned about for what is important to know what policies is in every work.
So what uh, what is the support, or what are the helps, and for any situation. Yeah, and if you need to know who is the where is the office for human resource,
Mhm.
and the training is the best thing. But you need to know what is the people that help us with any situation. Yeah, I learned about it's very important. Yeah, because probably we make something wrong because we don't know what what is the rule, or what is the sequence for everything. So yeah, we need to know what are our our rights for
We,
sexual harassment. Yeah.
we do need to know what our rights are so that we can hold to standards and hold other people.
Yeah, it is very important.
I read a book not too long ago called The Woman Code. A friend recommended it.
Okay.
I forget who the author was, but she said, people treat us the way we allow them to treat us and the way we train them to treat us. And I really liked that because not to put other people, because they're responsible for their actions, but there also is, like you were saying, Laura, we need to know what our rights are, and we say no, the first time something bad starts happening. Because we do have our rights, male and female, for how we will be treated, and we train other people in what we allow them to do or not to do.
Well, I mean, if you look for what you said to Julia's situation, she was already being treated badly, obviously, in her home environment.
Yeah.
And, based off of the quote you just said, of people treating you the way you allow them to treat you and stuff like that. I mean, she was already used to being treated that way.
It had gone on for, I'm sure, years and years. The poor girl, I feel like she just needed some help, like some real help. Like she needed to get out from under her abusive husband in the home. And so that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
I don't know if everybody noticed, but Donovan typed something in the chat window.
Ooh, let's check it out. I'm going to go ahead and read this, Donovan. I learned about how to recognize situations like this and what to really do about it. It also made me think about help resolve situations like this. That's a good takeaway from this case study. I like that. Thank you for sharing, Donovan.
Yeah, with that comment, Donovan, it made me think, if DaCosta had known the policy himself going into this, and he wouldn't have had to call somebody to be like, what are the policies? He could have gone to Julia in the first place, and they could have worked out a plan together, instead of escalating out of everybody's hand and ending up the way it did.
And then the lawyer got the caller ID, and then she was able to find out everything. The whole thing just blew up. Yeah. Oh. Donovan's solution to go to Julia first thing is probably what would have helped prevent all of this from happening moving forward.
I mean, put yourself in his shoes, though, if you overheard something like that.
I know, right? He was overwhelmed with his own work, and nobody wants to overhear a conversation like that. Ron French just needed to just quit being a jerk. He's causing problems for everybody. So let's see. I asked Laura. Donovan shared his takeaway. Did I ask you yet, Marilyn, what your takeaway was? Can't remember. Oh. Did my internet just die? Oh no.
And everything, and we had to sign that we went through those trainings.
Mhm.
So I mean, a policy, a procedure is only so good as you make it. I mean, if you have one and nobody ever reads it and it sits there and you do no training on it, it's no good.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm sorry. My my internet flagged out for a minute there, and so it like started the Zoom, but it's still recording. So we're still.
Yeah, I saw you were frozen there for a second.
I was like, wait a minute. Man down. I apologize for that. You know how in the evenings when like everyone gets home from work and the bandwidth just gets more taxed?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It gets kind of spotty. It's frustrating. So I apologize for that. What do you guys think was the overall quality of today's discussion? From 0 to 10?
For me,
I was gonna say.
Thank you, Donovan. I'm sorry, Marilyn. Go ahead. You just gave it.
We were
10.
able to learn a lot and take a lot from each other. So I really learned a lot. So grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10.
Anything I can do to improve moving forward as we fine tune this process?
I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You did an excellent job, especially with how little time that you had been given to prepare. So
Oh, thank
props to
you.
you.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Sweating it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. It's fun discussing these cases. Get everyone's opinions and ideas.
Yeah. Thank you. I
You got
learned
lucky
a
you got
lot.
through.
Yeah.
It makes for a more well-rounded discussion. And we have Donovan again to give us a male perspective on things, which I highly value.
Anybody been able to get a hold of Caden? I've tried. Okay.
There's just a few people that are MIA. We'll keep trying.
We'll have to make sure in the future any messages get relayed to Sorella. She must not have gotten the link in time. She's on a different time zone.
Yeah,
So,
that would be frustrating. That would be frustrating. So
does she have to have a Gmail to be able to do Zoom? Because her email is BYU Idaho. It's not a Gmail.
I don't think it would have to be Gmail
Okay, I wasn't sure.
because it is. I mean, I sign in with Gmail just because that's easier for me. But I don't know if it's required. I don't know if Zoom is a Google product like Gmail is. But we can look into that.
Yeah.
Into that. So we want to make sure everyone can participate.
Thank you.
Well, I know everyone is busy, so I won't keep you longer than the hour.
We do need to
Required.
talk about our doohickeys paper. Do we want to
That's
do that
right.
tonight, or do we want to meet again on Friday like we did last week?
Trying to think Friday.
I know it's my daughter's birthday. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if Friday will work this week. Would Saturday?
I could do a Saturday morning. That would be an evening for Sorella. So she might be able to do that. I don't know.
Let's say.
I just don't want to leave it to the last minute because it is due on Saturday.
Yes, that would be unfortunate. I know.
Laura, where are you at on the sexual harassment issue?
I'm working tomorrow for all this.
Oh, you're gonna work on it tomorrow?
Yeah, on Friday I have the Elder Jimenez of the 17th is in the stake, so I was busy on
So
Friday.
you'll be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And Donovan, you work on Thursday evenings?
Looks like he's typing.
Thursday afternoon. Could you do a Thursday evening? Could we meet tomorrow night and go over the doohickeys? Would that work for anybody?
Thursday.
Thursday, that's fine.
Yeah, Thursday would work.
After 9:45, so if we did 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
is that okay? I know that's kind of late, but is that okay? I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
That is kind of late for me. So could we, would Friday be better?
tomorrow I will have tomorrow is Tuesday, right?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah. So I will have my physical therapy tomorrow
Yeah, but it would be in the evening.
in the evening. Okay, that's perfect.
For you, it would be 8:45 because you're in California.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Or for you, no, sorry. If we do 10 o'clock or 9:45 or whatever, yeah, it would just be an hour earlier.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
For this one time, Laura, would you be okay with that, or is it just is it?
Yeah, that's fine.
I meant Amanda. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we could do it one time.
Okay. I just know poor Donovan's over there with a crying baby. He's not going to get much out of it. My one thing is I was looking over the way you wrote yours up, and it's different than mine. So we'll have to somehow figure out. Obviously, we've both kind of interpreted the explanations
Differently.
So we'll have to come up with a way that we feel works best. And I think that would be hard. I don't want you to get in an accident.
So 9:45 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're doing a lot more than you should. How about we keep you safe? You got a little baby and a wife to come home to. All right. Amanda, did you want to send out this information to everybody so even if Kaden wants to come again and Sarah can get it, and hopefully she might be able to join us too.
I'll play secretary and get the information out by email to everybody.
All right.
Okay.
And I haven't quite finished up what I was doing, but I always go do way more than I should with mine. Have you done anything with yours yet, Donovan? Just a rough draft. Okay. All right. So I posted mine on that Google Docs as well, if anybody wants to look at it. I don't know if you've had a chance, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So we all have the same style. All right.
Good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Well,
we'll let Donovan get crying baby.
Yeah, we should sign off so he can take care of the little one. Thank you guys so much. I'll get that email out to everyone saying we agreed to meet Thursday night at 9:45 Mountain Time. And we'll go.
Donovan. You can't, were you typing?
Okay, we'll wait for him. Oh. It's okay, Donovan. Thank you so much for participating. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you all.
Good night. Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Amanda.
Oh, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
So Laura, you're next week, right? Are you
No.
doing group leader next week?
For next week, I think a 7 week, but
Well, we had Davy. JV withdrew from the class, and Kaden isn't coming.
so
that
I
kind
will
of moved
prepare.
it up.
Yeah.
Will that be okay?
Yeah. Okay.
If it doesn't work, we can always work around it. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean,
No,
I can do next
think.
week if that doesn't work.
Okay. I think
Okay.
I try.
All right. I lost my paper that had the schedule on it anyways. It's somewhere on
I
my
think
desk.
I was on week 8 and I looked at my other classes and I have a big exam that week.
Oh,
I could trade with someone as we get closer to week 8. I know that's pretty far out, but I just thought I'd put that on the table.
okay. Yeah, we'll make sure. And yeah, if anybody has any conflicts with any dates, I mean, we're gonna have to redo the schedule because Sarah Lee is new, Davey withdrew, and Kaden I don't know.
MIA.
So I don't think we should even include him in the schedule at this point, so we don't
Okay.
end up in the same situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds
All right.
good. Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.